Realizing the God of devotion, there will be unity only. God too is thought of in and by the self. So God is identical with the self. If one is told to have bhakti for God and he does so straight away, it is all right. But there is another kind of man who turns round and says, there are two, I and God. Before knowing the far off God, let me know the more immediate and intimate I. For him, the Vichara Marga has to be taught. There is, in fact, no difference between bhakti and vichar. Talk 155. The same man again asked about the nature of samadhi and the means to get samadhi, Maharishi. When the one who asked the nature of samadhi and the method of getting into it vanishes, samadhi will result. Major Chadwick. It is said that one look of a Mahatma is enough, that idols, pilgrimage, etc. are not so effective. I've been here for 3 months, but I don't know how I have been benefited by the look of Maharishi. Maharishi. The look has a purifying effect. Purification cannot be visualized. Just as a piece of coal takes long to be ignited, a piece of charcoal takes a short time, and a mass of gunpowder is instantaneously ignited. So it is with grades of man coming in contact with Mahatmas. Mr. Cohen, I get into meditation and reach a point which may be called peace and a contemplative mood. What should be the next step? Maharishi. Peace is self realization. Peace need not be disturbed. One should aim at peace only. Devotee. But I do not have the satisfaction. Maharishi. Because your peace is temporary. If made permanent, it is called realization. 9th February 1936. Talk 156. Doctor. Devotee. Is solitude helpful for practice? Maharishi. What do you mean by solitude? Devotee. To keep away from others. Maharishi. Why should it be done? It is actuated only by fear. Even in solitude, there is the fear of intrusion by others and of solitude being spoiled. Moreover, how are thoughts to be raised in solitude? Should it not be done in the present environment? Devotee. But the mind is distracted now. Maharishi. Why do you let go the mind? Solitude amounts to making the mind still. This can be done in a crowd too. Solitude cannot efface one's thoughts. Practice does it. The same practice can be made here too. Talk 157. Devotee. In the quest of I, the seeker is at a certain stage directed to keep the mind in a negative attitude for grace to enter. How can a negative yield positive result? Maharishi. The self is always there, not to be newly got. Devotee. I mean to ask what has been done in the negative attitude to deserve the grace. Maharishi. Are you asking this question without grace? Grace is in the beginning, middle, and end. Grace is the self. Because of the false identification of the self with the body, the Guru is considered to be with body. But from the Guru's outlook, the Guru is only the self. The self is one only. He tells that the self alone is not then the self your Guru. Where else will grace come from? It is from the self alone. Manifestation of the self is a manifestation of grace and vice versa. All these doubts arise because of the wrong outlook and consequent expectation of things external to oneself. Nothing is external to the self. Devotee. All our questions are from our standpoint and Sri Bhagwan's replies are from his standpoint. The questions are not only answered but are also undermined.